Hello, this is Anges and I'm on Sims, and welcome to my channel update video. It's been a little while since I uploaded one of my Let's Plays, and that is because I've been working on something bigger. But to explain about all of that, I first have to tell you about this world. This is my 1890s Brindleton Bay. I can't even talk anymore. And I used this world to create past scenes or flashbacks, if you will, for my Let's Play My Life as a Ghost. And that Let's Play, if you don't know it, is all about Elizabeth Greaves and her husband Jonathan Collins, who both mysteriously died 125 years ago. And in the present time, Elizabeth sort of roams the earth as a ghost to try to figure out what happened to her all those years ago, to her and her husband, I should say. In the 1890s, they both had relatives. I will quickly introduce them to you. This is Benjamin Collins, who is Jonathan's older brother, and his wife, Benjamin's wife, Margaret, and their two girls. These are Jonathan's parents, his twin sisters, Penelope and Christina, and his younger brother, Philip. And these are Elizabeth's parents and her sister, Sally, and her younger brother Jack. Now, to explain more about what I'm actually trying to tell you here, we have to travel to the future, so please come with me. Okay, we have now arrived in modern day Brindleton Bay, and Elizabeth still lives here in the same house, but now she's a ghost. But she doesn't live alone. She lives with one of her descendants. Her son Arthur grew up, had a family, and gradually that became another Jonathan Collins. And he moved in here together with his two girls, Lizzie and Amy. When they moved in, they did not know that their great grandmother would live here as a ghost, but they certainly know now. So I think that's kind of nice. So she still lives here, and she's the protagonist of that Let's Play. But other than that, the world has changed a bit. Some of the houses are still the same, but then the people are different. The Whispers are still here. They are the evil family in that particular Let's Play. But you know, you see some new houses like Benjamin Collins' house has been torn down and is now a vet clinic. So things have changed. But a couple of weeks ago, my friend Angel, also known as Simming Ivy, contacted me, and she told me that she enjoyed my Let's Play My Life as a Ghost so much that she wanted to contribute to it somehow by maybe creating Sims for me. So we talked about it, and I absolutely loved the idea that she wanted to create Sims for my Let's Play, and we decided that she would make Jonathan Collins, present day Jonathan Collins, his parents and his grandparents, two sets of grandparents, his sister with her family, and his younger brother Chris. So Jonathan and the girls are not alone in the world anymore. They now have relatives, which actually got me to thinking. Most of the Sims that I make, I just place them in one of the houses I made, and I play with them for a little while, and then usually I get inspired to build something else and I move on. I basically abandon them because I'm an evil person. But there are a few Sims that I've played on and off over the years, and that I have come to care very deeply about, like the Oakleys. And in another world we have the Doyles, and I have a bunch of vampires that I play on and off with, and who feature in shorter videos that I create, in which I basically let music and the images do the talking. And I've done the Murkland Starter Challenge by Brennachan Sims. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. I hope I am. But other than that, I didn't really start playing the game until I think about 8 months ago, because I've always been a builder. But then, because now Jonathan has relatives, I kind of figured it would be nice if other people have relatives as well. So I thought, how about I create descendants of the Greaveses and Collinses colonizers of the 1890s, Brindle Bay. That is exactly what I did. But, you know, when I started this, I had no idea that it would become absolutely insane. Because, obviously, you know, if you have 2 Sims and they have 2 kids or 3 kids, you know, you get the idea. Very quickly, you have a whole bunch of Sims. And I think I ended up creating at least 100 new Sims. Probably even more. But I thought it would be a nice way to also, by creating all these descendants, to link 3 of my Let's Plays. I have one called The Cheerful Pet Shop, which features the Cheerful Sisters, and I have one called Jenna Jones in the Jungle, which is all about Jenna Jones, who lives here, but normally, you know, she's usually in the jungle. I also have one about aliens, you know, but they live on a different planet and they should stay there. They have no business here. But I thought, you know, these Sims that I made, and I have actually come to really care about, they are basically all alone in the world. So, you know, there used to be just these 2 sisters, nobody else. And there used to be just Jenna Jones and her dogs and nobody else. And that actually kind of made me sad. So I thought, if I create all these descendants, I can make them somehow related to my 1819s Sims. And that's exactly what I did. So the Cheerful Sisters, Robbie and Charlie, they now have a younger brother called Ellie. They have grandparents, they have a crazy uncle, and they have parents. Jenna Jones now has a twin brother, Carter, and she has a really cool grandparents who actually live here, and lovely parents who live in the other green world. I'll get to that in a minute. I forgot her name. That's really silly. But she has her parents now live somewhere else as well. So I've basically given them a family, and to me that feels very, very good. Let's see. Let's go to another world. Here we are in the city, and here in this building, this is the building where Chris Collins lives, who is Jonathan Collins' younger brother, and also Jenny's twin brother Carter lives here. So I have basically created relatives who now live all over the different worlds. So for me, all these worlds have sort of come together, and all my Sims have sort of come together, which in a weird kind of way feels really good to me, because now they're not all alone in the world anymore. They have people to fall back on, and you will occasionally see some of them in my Let's Plays. My Let's Plays will also, you know, basically remain the same. They will be around a few Sims who live their lives and have certain goals in life. So for instance, Jenna Jones will remain Jenna Jones in the jungle. Her brother will probably accompany her a couple of times, but it will be basically her in the jungle, you know, finding stuff, exploring stuff, becoming a very great archaeologist and whatnot. But they will occasionally meet others, and they will occasionally meet each other. But I think that it's just a really fun idea, and it's all because of Angel. Angel inspired me to do this, to go completely crazy. But it also allowed me to sort of bring back some of my older Sims that I created and I really love back into this world, back into this one big save. I'll quickly introduce you to some of them, some of my favorite Sims that will now be in my Let's Plays. I love the film The Big Lebowski. It has been one of my favorite films for quite some time, and I've seen it I don't know how often, and I just love it. So when the bowling pack stuff pack came out, I had to create a bowling alley called The Big Lebowski, and I also created the dude and his friends. So let's quickly pay them a visit. Okay, so here we are. Here we have the dude. Obviously, in the film, his name isn't really Dude. They call him the Dude, so I just named him Dude. His friend Donnie and his friend Walter. I wanted them to be sort of... I wanted to basically throw them into the mix as well. So, the Dude is now a descendant of Philip, Jonathan Collins' younger brother. I mean, the old Jonathan Collins. I know it sounds very complicated, and in a way it is, because I I actually filled at least 6 pages in my notebook just on who is who and how they are all related and whatnot. But he's now a relative, and he's not alone in his world with his friends anymore, with his crazy 2 friends. He also has a dad called Jacob Lebowski. Unfortunately, his mother died, but he's got a dad, and he's got an uncle, a crazy uncle, Peter Lebowski, who is actually quite similar to the dude himself. He's just as lazy, he's a slob, he's a bro, and the dude actually quite takes after his uncle, not so much after his dad. And they live in this big apartment that I built quite some time ago, but I still really like it. So they, in the film, they obviously don't live in such a luxurious big apartment, but this is Sims. I can do whatever I want. So they live in this big apartment, just the 3 of them, and they go out bowling every night. They go to the Big Lebowski, the bowling alley, and they basically bowl every single night. But it's fun. They like it. But the reason why I wanted them to be part of all this is not only because I like him, but I also like the lots that come with him. I once created a short video about them right after that bowling stuff came out. Bowling stuff pack came out. And it was basically about these 3 guys, who went bowling. But I think it kind of captures the atmosphere of the film. So I just had to make a little video. But I really like the lot that I built for them, and I like the bowling alley. But there are other lots that I've made throughout the years that I kind of like. And by combining all of this, it will also give me a nice opportunity to occasionally show off one of my builds. Because I am a builder. And, I don't think I show my builds enough on my channel. So I have to change that. But let's go back to the city. So there are a whole bunch of relatives, cousins, nieces, uncles, whatnot in the city, and they are basically everywhere. I've put them in every single world, and I'm now at a stage where I think I have filled half of these worlds, or actually maybe 75% of these worlds with my lots. Also my vampires are now in here. I have a few short videos in which I basically just let the music and the images do the talking about my vampires, but they are now related somehow to my other Sims. I won't go into too many details because that's just too complicated, but I will explain things as I go in my Let's Plays. So they are all now here, which I'm very, very happy about. A whole bunch of them are here. This is, for example, where Jenna Jones's family, her parents now live. This is where the cheerful parents live, and that crazy uncle lives in this big mansion right here. And this is where Angel lives, Angel Ivy. My good friend Angel, who actually got me to do all of this crazy stuff. She has now become a Sim in my game, and she lives there with her hubby, and her son lives right next door to her with his husband and their 2 kids. And when I'm completely done, all the lots in the house and all the lots in all the worlds will be mine, except for these. And I quickly have to tell you something about this little street, and then I'm done. Then I'll leave you be. Okay, since I am a builder, I always build my own lots. I never really download houses by other builders. Except I only did that for the Murkland challenge, which is a great challenge, by the way. I can't stress that enough. But I never download houses by other builders. Not because I don't like those houses, but because I just enjoy building my own way too much. But there are so many wonderful builders out there, and there's so many people out there who really, really inspire me. And sort of as a tribute to all the other wonderful builders out there, I thought I wanted one street filled with builds that are not mine. So for instance, this is Glendale House by Frimlin. This is Haven Heights by BreeMiles. This is Potter Splay age 14 by Onyeka001. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I'm sorry if I don't. And this is Small Dog Owner's Home by Crystal Gamer 1. So yeah, these are just a few of the simmers who really inspire me and who I really, really enjoy. And especially Frimlin, we've actually become quite good friends, especially over these last couple of months. And I just sort of wanted to show off at least a few houses by other simmers, because what I love about the Sims community is how people inspire each other. I can see someone else's lot, and that immediately might bring images to my head of a build that I could possibly build, and I'll just go to the game and I build something. So without all the other wonderful builders out there, I wouldn't always be as inspired to build. So this is sort of like a tribute to all you wonderful people out there. So thank you for inspiring me, and this is for all of you. And in this house, actually, I actually created a sim of Ash Harmon. Sorry, that was awkward. I actually created a sim of my friend Frimlin, and he lives in his own house. So we might occasionally see him walk by, which would be nice, because then I can say, look, there goes Frimlin. I might actually also ask these 3 ladies if they have a sim self, so I can have them live in their own homes and we can occasionally meet them. Who knows? But you know, there are so many wonderful sims out there, so maybe I'll ask a few more simmers if I can have sim selves of them, just to put in my world. And maybe I'll place a few other lots by other simmers in here as well. I'm not quite sure, but you know, I just really like this little street. So yes. So in my Let's Plays, you'll see some changes. You'll all of a sudden see family members popping up, and actually had a good chat with my friend Ash just now, and people basically mostly know me as a builder in a Sims community, and I don't really have that many build videos on my channel. So I am definitely going to try to put out more build videos, speed build videos or whatnot on my channel, so people can see how I come up with these crazy builds. Sometimes they're crazy, sometimes they're not. But anyway, those are that's a little weird kind of update about my channel. I don't know if it was interesting for you, but I'm just very happy about the changes in my game. I'm very happy that my Sims are not alone in the world anymore, that they've got family, they've got ancestors or descendants, and you know, they're all sort of connected now. That feels really, really good to me. It has become more real in a way. I hope it makes sense. Anyway, if you sat throughout this entire video, I applaud you. I really, really do. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you'll check out some other videos on my channel as well. Thank you very much. Bye.